radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced and get happy with Dr. Marissa. And this show is about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have shows and topics.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Monday, Tuesday,
Happy days.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Happy days.
Friday, whatever.
Happy days.
What a day. Na, 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 na.
I love you.
I love you too.
Best known as the mom from Happy Days, and she is a delightful 89-year young Marion Ross to my studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Dr. Marissa, this is such a treat for me.
Oh.
My goodness, you're a wonderment.
Which is exactly the kind of guest that I like. Those who have gone through life, good and bad, and then taken those experiences to alchemize them into the person they are now and doing good on the planet. I'd like you to welcome Corey Feldman.
If you're grateful for it and you say right away, thank you, God. Oh, my God, that's so beautiful. I'm so blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then guess what? More good things will come to you.
Does this sound familiar at all? She's back again to mark my Cancer Awareness and Prevention Month show. Please welcome Fran Drescher. Hi, Fran.
On and supporting cancer schmance. I really appreciate it.
So what would you say are some of the biggest myths, Fran, that people have about cancer?
Well, I would say that they think that there's a cure for it.
Okay.
Instead of a cause for it.
This is the first call-in show when I get to be Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. And people call in to get their life tires balanced and their critical thinking or their BS, their belief systems, smog checked. And today I am delighted to have Malie calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
We could go 90 days and end up having terrible sex. And then you say, well, the relationship's not all about sex. Well, if I'm not getting great sex from you, then I'm going to get it from somebody else. Right?
That moose just got put on the table. And I see Josh and Jim.
I have to agree
You're
with Clyde.
both nodding. Ramon's sort of half nodding because his wife's listening. But
I understood what was going to happen if Muhammad Ali's youngest daughter, made public that I was going to become a boxer. So I wanted to make sure this was the path that I wanted to go down.
you are absolutely fabulous, beautiful inside and out. And I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award today.
Thank you.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic point.
When I go, I'm gone.
Are you lonely?
No.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be
But
the answer.
I surround myself with people. I mean, I'm always the one cooking for things. I'm always the one that decorates first and come to my house. All the orphans that have no place.
I'm going to have no place to go, so I
Okay,
can
okay, come on over.
And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice That I'm Not Using It. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, the NBC News, and NBC Sports Radio station, celebrating 25 years, home to the Asian Oprah, leaving no listener behind. This is a show about hope and happiness. So if you're looking for gossip, scandal, or K-words, no Kanye talk at all, then tune in somewhere else. Because we have now lasted 1,076 shows and 605 consecutive weeks on the air, even though they said show about positive things is not going to last. I'm so glad you were wrong, not you. Because anybody who's still here, welcome to the Cashew Gallery. We've got Dr. Omega in the house this morning, and Troy Pacelli streaming in from Colorado. Dr. Omega, I can't remember where you're streaming. I think maybe Colorado too, but you'll let me know. And if you've missed any of my past shows, I just bumped into Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver again. He's going to be coming back on. All the Happy Days cast and the all of the, just really classic TV and movies. But most important is, as you saw in the promo, Fran Drescher didn't come to talk about the nanny. I love celebrities that take their limelight and shine them on temporarily dark places. And to balance out the serious nature on my show, I also have special series where we have a little fun, we get a little risque. And you see on camera today, this was my original co-host, for Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
And my new host, James, is an actor, and he had a gig today. And so, where am I going to go to get Straight Talk? I go back to the beginning. And I'm so delighted that he responded very quickly. He has learned some things while he's been away. And so delighted to have you back, Sam Works. Welcome him back to the studio on Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
I know this is going to be a super fun show. We also have Maria saying good morning. She is streaming in from Colorado. You remember them, yes? They were
yes.
big fans. They helped me in the selection of a new co-host, and thanks to you or no thanks to you, they have to be cute and single. So that was the new. I don't even know if you qualify anymore. However, that is the topic of today. Tell me that you leave it. I can't believe it's true. Breaking up is hard to do. I used to sing that. The last time I sang that was in Europe in a metro station. There was a concert in a metro station. Anyways, so that's the topic, and we're going to get into why Sam picked that topic. But first, you know the drill. We want to have breakfast to sandwich your day in the most positive way. You hear all bad news everywhere very easily. You just have to turn something on, even yourself. No, you just have to turn on whatever device you're on, and you're going to get some bad news. So we balance that out here with good news, starting with, what are you grateful for? Sam, you remember how to do this?
Yes, I do.
8 things that we are grateful for. Let's get started. Cashew Gallery, you're welcome to come and participate. All right, Sam.
So the first thing that I'm grateful for are books, things that I can read, specifically like personal development books. They really help me out. Right now, I'm reading a book called The Miracle Morning. and it's been helping me get out of bed. So I was able to take a shower this morning, get ready for the show, come here in the office, and I wasn't slacking. So
Yeah, he actually beat me in the studio. So that is like there's a first for everything. I am grateful that Sam could come back and sub in this morning. It's nice to see
yes,
you again.
thank you. It's nice seeing
Let's
you
see.
too.
Thank you. Grateful. Maria's grateful for hot tea.
Oh, that's pretty good actually. I like that.
Go ahead, Sam.
I'm grateful for hot showers.
Mm. I'm grateful for hot jacuzzis.
Privilege. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, it's true. My life does not suck for sure.
Yeah. You earned it. You earned it.
Thank you.
I'm grateful for honestly being able to I was gonna say being able to take back my life and have somewhat control of my life.
Oh, good. Okay. And now I'm really curious. All right. Dr. Omega is grateful that his dog, Martha, is getting over an eye infection. Follow up by one. Yes. We are just sending a breath of healing to Martha for sure. I know I call them unconditional dogs. We as humans try to love unconditionally, but truly, I don't think dogs are the only sentient being that can actually achieve that. And thank you for the reactions. We've got eyeballs rolling in. If you are just tuning in, this is Take My Advice. I'm not using a Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. And it is Thursday, as we ramp into the weekend. We get a little bit risque with Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
And you don't have to be straight to enjoy this show. The straight we are referring to is putting the moose on the table, which is my Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room. Usually we talk about relationships because that's usually the most juicy thing to select. And thank you for the finger. I'm grateful for someone already giving us the finger. Not that one, but this one. So you can go ahead and react on there and put your 8 cents worth, anything you would like to ask or comment on. We're here. If you're driving, don't do it. Wait till you get to where you're landing and then turn me on, literally, on my YouTube TV channel, which, thanks to my Cashew Gallery and Orville Nation, we've now passed the 2,000 subscriber mark. Yesterday, I think we were 2008. And over 303,000 views. So I am truly grateful for all of that. We've grown a bit since you've been here. And as we continue to splatter more hope and happiness. Now we're going to go to the bottom of the bun. That is, what do you like about yourself? And I'm very, very strict about this because it's my BS, my belief system, that mental health starts with self-care. There's so many people running around with antenna up looking for love in all the wrong places. And I want you to exercise that muscle of knowing, how 88% fabulous you are. So, Sam, what do you like about yourself?
I like that I'm working on myself. That's for sure.
Fantastic. I appreciate that I am adventurous. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of fun things. I'm going on book tour. I don't think I've told you, to Australia and New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
And, I love combining business and pleasure. So I'm going to take that shot over boat. I just booked some excursions, electric bike through Queenstown or Auckland, one of the two, and a kayak into the sunset, and then scuba diving. So I already did the Great Barrier Reef. Yeah, so I'm going to do that in New Zealand. So, yeah.
I like that. That sounds fun.
Go.
Self-care is probably something that I like about myself. A lot of people are letting that part go in their lives, which is probably one of the most important. So,
absolutely. I appreciate that I am quick to smile. That's a new one.
I appreciate that I see the world with the cup half full. So,
And I appreciate that I know that the cup is always 100% full because it's air and water. Couldn't resist. Sam, one last one. Can you hear me? I think we may have lost Sam. Yep. Cashmere Gallery, help me out with an appreciation. I'm filling in his, let's see, original co-host of Straight Talk. There we go. Oh, I didn't do it right. All right, here we go. I appreciate that I am a multitasker. Sam, last one.
I appreciate how much I reflect on my life.
Beautiful. And that's it for breakfast with Dr. Marissa and did I lose you again? I think I may have lost you. But thank you for joining us for breakfast here on Take My Advice. I'm not using a Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. And I promise you that if you take a bite of my gratitude sandwich every single day, am I muted? You can't hear me. I can't hear you. Did you mute yourself? Unmute. You muted yourself. So you're going to have to change that. Frank, can you help him out for a second? If you have breakfast for 28 consecutive days, I promise you that your day sandwich between will be just incredible instead of waking up and doing MS, meaningless scrolling and looking at the bad news. All right. He can't hear and we can't hear him. You are, I'll give him a call, but I'm going to kick him out and see if he'll come back with his microphone on. Thank you for that, Troy. So let's see. You muted yourself when you came back in this last time. All right. And the topic today is breakups. I actually want to, oh, good. His mic is not muted now. Somehow you accidentally muted your mic last time. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yay! So what's the topic today? Sam Works.
We're going to be talking about breakups.
And why are we talking about breakups?
Because it was almost a recent incident that happened a couple days ago, and I just wanted to touch up on it a little bit.
Okay. So are you still, so it sounds like you almost went through a breakup, or you went through a breakup and then you're not broken up though. You made it through the breakup?
We made it through the breakup. I told her we got to pump the brakes a little bit, and she didn't see it coming. And there's many reasons why, but we held on, and we're continuing on. We're pushing forward. So it's just I came to a realization basically, and kind of wanted to share it.
Oh, good. I love tea. I found out that tea means like dirt to the younger generation. I just found that out from my daughter. Oh, God, I love my kids. I learn a whole new language with them. And they're so embarrassed when I actually use the terms, by the way, just in case you were wondering. But all right, so that's the topic for today. To the Cashmere Gallery that is streaming in, love streaming, please go to my YouTube channel, free subscribe, and you will get a free alert every weekday morning to tune in. And we have lots of players today. So happy to see all of my Cashmere Gallery there. And we're going to hear the story. And I also wanted to just sort of put a frame around this. A couple of questions I woke up with is it possible to have a good breakup? That's one of the things that I was, is it possible to break up too quickly Is it possible? We've talked about staying in relationships too long. I think that was last week's topic. So is there a balance out? Are we breaking up too quickly? So just a couple of things as you're telling the story, because if we go back, Sam was my original co-host on Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa, and this was what, 2 years ago, I want to say?
Yeah, long time to be honest.
Long time. Love
Long
you, love
time.
you. I'm not even go there. Somebody just said that to me. That's why it came out. So he was single for a while, and we would talk about his past relationships, as I would as well. And then he met someone, and he would talk about that relationship. And how long were you with? How far into my pregnancy model of relationships did you go before you had this recent breakup to makeup thing?
About 7 months.
Okay, so if we go back to my pregnancy model of relationship, which is first trimester. Those of you who haven't heard it yet, I think Dr. Omega, you might be not familiar necessarily with this. It's in my 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are best-selling book, which I'm going back on tour. I told you. Okay, so the first trimester is roses, talking till 3 a.m, making promises you can't necessarily deliver. See, sound effects there. And but everything is beautiful, and I've known him my whole life, and I feel like I've known you forever. It must have been the past life. And, writing down the last name of whoever you're going to take the last name of, and everything is rosy. First trimester. Second trimester, month 4 to 7 is more so the other side of the fruit. So if I look at dating as the good side of the fruit is up, second trimester, the bad side of the fruit, or the ripe, starting to brown, that side, too much pressure side, reality of relationships, and the real you comes out, or the balance part of you comes out, and there's indigestion, heartburn, kicking fetuses in utero, and you're just not having a good time. A lot of relationships break up then. And then third trimester is the decision, with at least with the option to buy, making choices. Am I happy with that person 80% of the time? So now that I gave you the model, give me what happened in that frame, just so I can say, see, it told you so. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, long story short, I didn't want to be dating anyone at that time, or even, quote unquote now. We just kind of fell into a relationship, and it smacked me in the face. And because, nowadays, I don't know when this started, but you can probably ask your daughters too. Like, you go on a couple dates with someone, and then next thing you know, you're dating. Like, you never physically said, "Hey, will you be my boyfriend? Will you be my girlfriend?" or whatever. You guys just ended up in a relationship. And then you have to figure out, oh, when did we actually start dating? Yada, yada, yada. It's a whole process, right? So I guess people are just never direct anymore, in that sense. They kind of just go with the flow. So, you know, I've always liked her. I haven't seen her in years. I saw her. I danced with her. We went on a date. We went on a couple dates. And then next thing you know, we're dating. And the last 2 girlfriends that I had, I broke up with them because I wanted to focus on my success, focus on my career, focus on myself, right? Same problem. Because I wasn't ready to date. I'm still focusing on myself. I'm still trying to get my stuff together. And I'm just in this position now where I feel obligated to take care of like another person, be there for them and care for them and all that stuff. And as much as we are compatible, I guess you can say it's just not the right time, right? But my brother told me, he says, because he knew why I broke up with my last 2 girlfriends. And he says, if you keep doing this, you'll always be single, because you'll always try to focus on yourself. And so that stuck with me. So I'm just trying to push through. I'm like, I don't want that to happen again. And I told her you know, why I broke up with my last two exes. And she's like, I don't want that to be the same excuse. Right. So I don't bring it up. So day after day, week after week, months after months, I'm just bearing my thoughts. And she has no idea. She thinks everything is just so grand, right? And we went to go see some Christmas lights the other night. And we're driving around, da da da. And then she's like, hey, can I ask you something? I was like, yeah, of course. The conversation got so deep, I don't even know what the question was. Like, I can't recall. She can't even recall. But next thing you know, she's just bawling her eyes out. And she's like, how did this happen? Like, we were just looking at Christmas lights and now we're having this conversation. And I didn't know what to say. I was like, look, it wasn't my intentions to like date you. I just wanted to take you out, you know? Like, I know that sounds kind of selfish, but like, I'm not looking for like a relationship, you know? And so she was like, you breaking up with me? You know? And I was silent. And she was like, are you breaking up with me? And I was just like, yes. And it just kind of went downhill from there. But we started talking about it. And I mean, we're still working on it. You know, she's like, I'll give you all the time that you need. I'll give you as much space as you want, yada, yada, yada. But it makes me feel bad because I'm not giving you the attention that you should have as part of like being your boyfriend, you know. Like dating someone, they should be part of a priority. Not your number one, but at least the top five. And I can't treat her like she is because she's not, you know. But she's willing to just hang around as long as we're still dating and like just be there for me. But it's like I devoted one day. Okay, it's called Ashley Wednesday. That's her name, Ashley. I devote Wednesday to her. All the other days I work, but Wednesday is our only day where I don't work, I don't do anything. It's just her and I. But I can't do that if it's in the middle of the week. You know, business still has to run. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I can't even give you one day. Like, how terrible is that? You know? But we started talking and we're working on it. You know? So
Okay. Thank you. First, that was very brave of you to be open about this and to, live your life out loud. And certainly this is a great conversation because it's real and you're not the only person that is going through this. And I just love the way that you're just so open and honest and going to help us or give me a platform to give you some recommendations and things as well. So thank you. It is great having you back, by the way.
Thank you, Dr. Marissa.
Thank
I
you.
missed you.
I miss you too. But I totally understood the priorities. And, there's a part of me that was proud of you and saying, okay, I really want to take this time to make some changes and to figure out, what my priorities are and so forth. And this is the same question that's come up on your personal life too. So that's good. And you're now how old? How young?
24.
24. Okay. So my younger daughter is 24 and she's, sort of going through sort of the same thing. And it's hard to watch because you want to go in as mama and, give her like the easier, softer way to work through some of this stuff. But, you have to learn it on your own. But here's a couple of things that I will say, since we're almost to halfway and I can talk about solution. And if you're just tuned in and you're wondering, what was that little story? You are listening to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel. And we're talking about breakups. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about the reality of relationships when you are at a point in your life when this is like, there's no do-overs early in your career. Like every day is an important day. Although I say, doesn't matter what point of life you are in, every day is an important day. There's no do-overs. Time is not money. Money you can make and spend and lose and invest and all of that. You can do over, but you cannot do over time. So that is the reality that you are faced with. Now, I'm also about balance. Okay. Now, I'm going to go first. Let me side with you for a second. And totally, well, first I'm going to hit you with a wet noodle because you're the one who has always been Mr. Communication. You got to communicate. You gotta communicate. And you are the one who didn't communicate and buried what you were feeling, so it all came out of left field for her. So give me your hand. Give me your hand. Hold it up. Okay, wet noodle slap. So although everything happens in the timing that it's supposed to happen, so there's the balance on the other side. And if you had said at the beginning, I'm sure no woman, no mate wants to hear that I really didn't want to date you. I really didn't want anything serious. I just wanted us to have a good time, and I just wanted us to dance, and I'm going to beat you up for a second. That is not a good excuse for, because you did get some milk out of that relationship. You didn't buy the cow, but you got the milk. And there were a lot of things that you could have put your brakes on early on and say, before we, start hanging out like 3-4 times a week, let me just, say, and there's a part of me that I think you did kind of say that, but then all of a sudden I remember the point on the show where you said, I'm in a relationship. So that was kind of like, okay, we went from single to I'm in a relationship. And didn't you just tell me that you don't want to be in a relationship because you want to focus on your career? So give me your hand. No, I'm kidding. That was so communication, yes, is important, but on the other hand, some things are better left unsaid sometimes. So because it begins to make me wonder, like, on one hand, yes, you're cute, you're nice, you're sweet, you're generous, you're smart, and you're a pretty good catch. So I can see someone wanting to continue, even though you have been so brutally honest, like, I never wanted to have a relationship. Any girl or mate who just had someone said to them and still wants to be with that person, I got a red flag going here. Like, yes, on one hand, you're a catch, but on the other hand, I definitely, I think I told you that guy that I dated who was, finally sat me down and said, I don't mind being top 3 priority, but priority 10, and that's not going to work. And I was actually happy that he said, that's not good enough for me. And so for me, a healthy relationship, as I do, is 50%, 50%. You don't give a $5, okay, I'll put up with anything, right? That's going over here when this person's only doing this. So that's one thing. And I can't talk because, I have not for a long time met anyone that I would want to spend a lot of time with. You both had spent a lot of time and you enjoy spending time together. So that's another factor of, okay, so what are we going to do here? So let me look at the cashew gallery. I know there's some talking here. I thought you were talking about, I thought you were talking about with Sam. Sorry. So this is another one. I have to learn how to read the cashew gallery without putting it on the screen. If it's not about the topic, I'm learning. But so my challenge or my question for you, Sam, is it possible for you to get to a place of balance? Because I do agree with your brother that you could always use this as a reason. And there are men who are in their 60s who say, or in their 40s and say, I don't want to get married yet, or 30s, I don't want to get married yet because I don't have my ducks in a row. I don't have a financial stability. And it's I'll be ready when, instead of I'll be happy when, I'll be ready. And I remember when I was in my late teens, I said to myself, if I have $50,000 in the bank, I'll be happy. And then it was 100,000, and then it was $500,000, and then it was $1 million. So that thing keeps moving. So you too could be in that spot. You know, let's say you do have a successful real estate business. You do have and then you're like, well, but I still don't have this, or I want to be able to whisk you off to whatever without blinking an eye or looking at the price on the travel brochure. So have you defined specifically a non-moving target to say, okay, now I'm ready for a relationship?
Not a tangible target, but a timeline. Because she told me, she was like, I told her I couldn't focus on both. And she was like, give yourself a timeline. 5 years, like work hard in the business. And then after 5 years, work hard with family relationships. And I thought that was fair. I was like, okay, because I do know that situation where 50,000 turns to 100,000, which turns to, like so on and so forth. So like a time block, like I would want kids someday, and I have like an age of when I want kids, so having a time block on like trying to just focus on success,
Yeah.
it can work, and that would be like my balance, I would say.
So the issue though is, let's say you do get to that 5 years from now, and there's
I probably wouldn't quit. Yeah.
Ashley, yeah. Well, first that too, like I'm calling your BS on that, and you might let some really good ones get away, right? Because if they have, and if I were coaching Ashley, I'd say dump your ass right now and don't wait, because if she's ready, like if she's not ready, then that's another story. But I'm always about be with someone that really wants to be with you 80% of the time. 20% of the time, nobody can take everybody 100% of the time. But if you really want to be with that person 80% of the time, and that person doesn't want to be with you 80% of the time, it's just not a match. Doesn't make them a bad person, but the timing is everything. However, the consequence of you doing this for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you're going to be coming to me. I have clients that come and say, I'm ready now. And it's like, it's so hard. Yeah, it's hard because, you've got a situation where, you haven't built anything with someone. There's some value in building something with someone. And I've had this conversation with you. Wouldn't it be great to find someone who is also in the same boat, who also wants to work and grow or whatever? And so you're supporting each other through that. To me, is what I would be looking for, not someone who's a Klingon necessarily that wants to get married right away, but has their own life. You say Ashley Wednesday, my perfect relationship at this point is I'd have a weekend man, 1 weekend a year, 1 weekend a month, right? But I'm so focused on my career that I, don't need to call or connect or whatever. But that 1 weekend, long weekend, I would be whisked away and I would be all about him. That's not realistic either. I want it, but that's not realistic. So, just like Ashley Wednesdays are not realistic. I think Dr. Omega has some things he'd like to say. I understand working on yourself and your career, but time is precious. I've seen too many people live to work and let life pass them by. Okay. And if you can't let your partner be within your top 5 priorities, you should not be dating in an official capacity. Absolutely. So he agrees with me. And let's see, Victoria Riggs, long time. Nice to see you in the chat. Victoria, she's in Long Beach, I believe, and she's been a great supporter for many years. So I like that. Were you talking about my one weekend a month? I don't know, but that is where my priorities is. And thank you, Dr. Omega, because you're pointing out something that I give some tough love to women. I have a lot of women clients who come to me very unhappy with their relationships, and they're complaining about their guy, and he doesn't do this and he doesn't do that, and I wish he would do this. And my bottom line question is, 80% of the time, do you like being with this guy? Do you love this person 80% of the time? Yes. But and it's like, okay, that's not 80% of the time, because if you are complaining about that man 80% of the time, and even if you're not verbalizing it, you can feel it energetically. If you're not happy with someone, you can feel it. You don't need to say anything. So for Ashley, I mean, I can't imagine now, does he really want to be with me? Am I bothering him? Am I getting in the way of what he's doing? Am I, maybe I shouldn't ask him, and I don't want, it's like, Jiminy Christmas. I can't even imagine having to handle that. I don't care how cute you are. It is just exhausting. So I would say, if she's in the same place as you, and also focused on what, and there's a lot of young, attractive women who are in that boat, looking for someone who's also like that. I would say I'm in that boat, but you're too old for me. So I really, when I'm coaching those women, I say, hey, you may think you're 80% happy, but you're presenting and your energy is not that. And my advice to you is let them go. Let them go be with people who love and appreciate them 80% of the time. Because you're not the best thing since sliced bread for them. You're disappointed in them. And that disappointment is a horrible way to live. And I would say that to Ashley as well, is that, it's a horrible way to live when that person is not appreciating you 80% of the time. So, my man, this is not about, well, it is about her, but my question for you is, how sure are you about being able to meet and attract and have a relationship as good as this one in the future? Because looks don't last. And it is true, if you're a quality person, that's why it's difficult for me to date, because a lot of the really good guys that are, not cougar classification, there's no part of cougar I even am attracted to that term. So I don't want a younger guy who is hot, because I want a man who's had similar experiences in their life and is at a place where I am too. And it's difficult. It is not impossible, but it is rare to find a man like that who is single, because they've grown with their wives. They have a great relationship. My bonus mom and dad, 72 years together. He just the other day, he's like, Mama, you look so beautiful. Like out of nowhere. He just turned 94. Like, I won't ever get that, because I made decisions that precluded having that kind of a long-term relationship.
Is that something that you regret?
No, I don't live with regrets.
Fair enough.
Because that's my motto. Because I've had other things that are fulfilling. I have an amazing career that I absolutely adore. I will never retire. I have 2 beautiful girls that are my heart. I have a handful of friends that I know I can, fall back into, and they will catch me. And I have a lot of fun in my life. I love my life. So no, I don't ever regret. If a guy comes along who we have that, and there's a match, I'm open to it, but I have, not. And I think I haven't, to be perfectly honest, I have not believed. I need to 100 or 80% believe, or 88% believe that it's possible for me to have a fulfilling relationship without having to compromise. And I don't know if I believe that yet, and that's why I don't have a relationship. As soon as I meet someone that I believe that with, then I will be having a relationship, because it all starts with your intention. All right. So Victoria is saying hello, beautiful, back at you. What is your response to all of that?
Me?
Yeah.
Look, I understand, and I'm the one that tried to break up with her.
Yes.
Okay. I guess you can say, I don't know. I told her yesterday, I said, look, maybe it's me crying out for help because it's just been a repeating pattern that I've been seeing over and over and over again. And
And
I've
it's
only,
you. And the only person in common is you, boo.
yeah, yeah. And I told her, I was like, look, as far as I can see, I only see it two ways. Like, it's either I pick one or the other, sacrifice, choose your poison, whatever. I was like, but no one's like helped me see another option, you know? And so that's when she was like, you know, trying to help me out, trying to figure me out. And I told her, I was like, look, I've been in love once before. And when I broke my own heart, all right, I broke hers, I broke mine, whatever. And I literally got sick. And it was probably one of the worst feelings I've ever been through. And I've been through a lot, like physically, medically, and all that stuff. But that for sure it's long term. And she was like, "So you're still grieving? That's basically what you're saying?" Because I was like, "Look, I enjoy our time together, but I can't be attached or like fall in love, especially at the moment because of what I've been through, And I just right now I just don't want to go through it again. Like I don't want to attach myself because it literally feels like someone died in my life and I can't talk to them. You know what I mean?" And so she's like, okay, so you're still grieving over your ex, one. Two, you don't communicate and you're just bearing all that in. And I was like, in my head, I was like, okay, so should I take you home? Because I was like, clearly you see
Yeah,
what's wrong with me.
you're definitely not a catch.
Yeah. And I'm the one that's trying to like tell her, like, okay, obviously I need to go like see a therapist. I need time for myself. Like I can't, do this. But she's still willing to hang on. Like she's still, and I don't know if that's like my problem, her problem, or our problem. I don't know.
Yeah, but I would say all three for sure. Okay,
Yeah.
but you're here in front of me. I'm going to give you a little tough love, and I'm going to give you, some happiness coaching, even though you're not paying for it. You didn't ask for it, but your mom will appreciate this. I'll do it for your mom. But you got a couple of BS belief systems that are getting in your way.
Yes.
One is you're letting what happened one time in your past, you're dragging all that crap and letting it affect your present and spewing it into the future, which is not uncommon, right? I've heard you talk about this. It's what people do to basically shoot themselves in the heart, because no one can break your heart. And yes, it's a horrible feeling, but there is so much more to life than that one event that happened that made you, more compassionate, more loving, more understanding. There's good that came out of that. You're much more careful. You told me that, you were a jerk a lot before, and now you're less of a jerk.
Yeah.
Right? Because of those experiences. That's number one. So that's your choice. You can keep doing that. And the consequence is you're going to lose some good perspective life partners. If you're willing to do that, I just don't want to get you at 60 knocking on my door asking for a session. And I'm going to say, I told you so. I don't have time for this because I already told you. So that's one. And two, this is the biggest one. And I've heard it and it didn't hit me until just now how limiting this particular BS belief system is hurting you. when you said there's only one of two ways.
Mm-hmm.
You believe it's either all or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And for the last time, because I know I've told you this before, it is not all or nothing. And I'm talking to myself, it's not sacrificing or you're going to win-lose, right? I am in a relationship and then I'm going to suck up my career. It's going to go down the toilet. I can only have a great relationship where all my time is sucked up into that relationship and I suck at my career. That either or is the biggest baloney that you're carrying around. It is possible to have a balanced life where you have a successful career and you have good relationships. You may not have had that yet, but you cannot be a good business person if you do not have balance in your life. I do this as an organizational psychologist. The biggest, BS is that you can be, professional at work, personal at home. The two don't cross, can't be good at both. One is going to sacrifice the other. I can't have kids because then I'm going to lose my position at work. I can only be successful at work and I'm going to be crappy at home. That's the only way. That is the biggest BS in the world. At work, in order to get things done, you have to have good relationship. I'm not talking about office romance, but you have to have the skills to have good relationships. You're learning how to have good skills at home in your relationships to be a better person at work. It's all connected. You can't separate the two. So, my friend, my original co-host, it is your work. You don't need a lot of therapy, but you got to get rid of that limiting belief. It is possible. You cannot work. Well, I do sometimes 20 days. The name of the show is Take My Advice. I'm not using it. So the balanced day, and I want your balance-centered Sam to say this to you. If I have a day where I'm 100% focused on doing the calls, doing the follow-ups, putting the signs up, looking at where money should go, look at the market, I don't know, all those things that are required to be successful at your job. Do you think you're going to be better at doing those things when you've just had a little nookie, or you've just had a little Christmas light walk, or you've just had a great meal and great conversation? Do you think you're going to be better at those activities? Or are you going to be better when it's like, I don't have time to go out. I can't do that. Oh my God, he's calling again. Oh my God, I don't have time to text. Oh my God. Or do you think you're going to be better doing those things when you've got that kind of an attitude? I'm not even talking about you getting married. I'm not talking about you committing to a life partner. I'm talking about real, practical, what feels better? What? What? The alternative is going out and having one night stands, and as soon as the woman is starting to text you a little more, it's like, oh, can't have a relationship. It's not my time. You're going to take away from my ability to be successful. So, bye-bye. You think you're going to be really successful working with that attitude?
Hello? I'm just amazed.
Was there a mic drop there?
Yeah, yeah, there was. No, I'm just yeah, you're completely right, and I'm grateful that I got to go on the show and listen to you. I mean, there is a reason why you texted me saying, "Hey, I need you Thursday."
And I asked Cashew Gallery. I asked PJ because he hasn't tried to co-host and he couldn't do it because of work. I was shocked when you texted me back. That was one of the reasons why I fired him, was his inability to be responsive, which is a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad. Yeah, he shocked the crap out of me. Texted me back. Okay, this is a new Sam. But this is what I'm talking. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Your ability just to and Victoria loves your vulnerability, which is it's beautiful. It's great, and your ability to be straight with yourself. I think that's the biggest thing. Is please, if you don't remember anything else, this either or business of yours is not the truth, because you're a whole person, and your ability to have not just nookie but positive relationships in your personal life is going to affect how successful you are in your professional life. There's no divide line there. You know, when I have a great day with great positive interactions with people, I'm good at whatever I'm doing. But if I don't have good positive reactions and I have things that are bothering me, and I don't either apologize or let it go and don't pick up the rope for the tug of war, I'm not going to do good. I'm really good today because I went to the gym, I did jacuzzi, I've got clean relationships, I've got things to look forward to, I've got things to appreciate from what just happened. I'm 88% good. And you can be 88% good if you stop with that baloney, bullshit talking, thinking that you cannot have, it's not the label. It's just having a good relationship with the people around you. So I'd go back. Here's my parting words. I'd go back to her. Let's see. Sorry. What did I do? Okay. If you can't get over something in your past, you can get stuck there for years, and you will miss out on so much. Acknowledge it, mourn it, then move on, kick it to the power up. Absolutely. Preaching to the choir. Thank you, Dr. O'Meara. All right. I'm spicy. Thank you.
Yes, she is.
Baby boy Sam, you deserve it all.
Thank you, Victoria. I appreciate you.
Yes, she is. Okay, so here's the deal. I would go back and I would listen to this with Ashley. And just listen to it. And just have her and then because I'm concerned that she is a little codependent and is wanting you no matter what, which is not healthy for her. But I can understand. I'm guessing she's not ready yet either, but she doesn't want to not have you in her life. But yes, you're the one that's going to have to adjust that BS belief system, right? No more Ashley Wednesdays. It is I have this, and this going on. But I do want to have, a meal. Are you free on this day? And then you both have something to look forward to. You don't have to feel like you're disappointing her. She doesn't have to feel like she's, bothering you. But you guys got to start a new way of seeing this whole situation. That's my final word. What's your final word?
That I am so happy I was on this show. Dr. Marissa, we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to come on the show. I'm inviting myself on this. In a couple months, because it does take time to adjust. And so I'll give you an update and let you know. And I will sit down and have her watch this show. But,
yeah. Good. You're saving $350. Anyways, it's all about balance. Thanks for tuning in on Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
It's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Tomorrow, tuning in for Tempting Conversations with Dr. Marissa and the daughter of Otis Williams, the founder of The Temptations. That will be tomorrow. So now, in the meantime, go and have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow.